All right, you guys. So the way this review works is I'm going to do this side, the odd numbers. You're going to do the even side. It's the exact same question and the same steps to solve it. All right, so the first thing we want to do on these types of problems is you go to your numeric solver. Type in what you have here. This is a negative. Be careful with the negatives. And then this is a minus. Then we move down. I'm going to put 15. Now from here, a lot of people are pushing enter. Do not push enter. You have to push the graph button 2 times. Graph, graph. So my answer is going to be -1. Now, when I look at my symbol, remember that anything that does not have a line has an open circle. So at -1, I'm going to put an open circle. And just in case you don't remember, if it has a line under it, there's a closed circle. So that gives me the answer of where to put the circle, the type. Now, in order to find out the shading part, you go to y equals and we type it in. So I'm going to put -5, parentheses, x minus 2. Then I'm going to put my symbol. I have to push second math, just match the symbol. And then I put a 15. And I'm going to push trace. So the top line is going to the right. So that means that this is shading to the right side. So that means that all this is my answer. My answer can be 8, it can be 6, it can be 0. It cannot be -1 because it is not equal. It's greater. All right. So do the same steps for number 2. You can pause it right now so you can make sure you do it correctly. Same things. All right. Start off with numeric solver and then put it in the calculator. Graph. Now moving on, we have solve the equation for the variable r. So this is going to be, just so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about, t equals 4 times pi times r. So there's no plus or minus. There's technically multiplications. All right, so all these are multiplying each other. So if I want to get rid of some multiplying stuff, I have to do the opposite and divide on both sides. So the 4 and the pi are multiplying with the r, and I want to leave the r by itself. So that means I'm going to divide by both of them, 4 pi on both sides. Now these will eliminate on this side, and I'm left with t divided by 4 pi equals r. Now the r is by itself. That's the goal. So whenever it's multiplying, because there's no pluses and no minuses, you're just going to divide. So draw your little division bars and put whatever it wants for you to kick to the other side. It wants the r by itself, so kick it to the other side. So on this one, it says it wants the t by itself. So you're going to, I shouldn't use the word kick because kick is plus or minus, but you should divide whatever is not the t on this side, just like we did over here. So again, go ahead and put pause, try this out. Let's move on. So we have number 5. So again, I need to go ahead and put this into my numeric solver. All right. So I'm going to have 28. This is a minus 7x. I'm going to move down. This is a -4, so make sure you put the negative key. And then this is a -7x. And then this is a -7. So you can kind of tell, guys, we printed them out to where like the negatives are smaller dashes and the minuses are bigger dashes. All right, now remember, you push graph 2 times, graph, graph. So on 0, my 0, I'm going to put a, according to my notes, an open circle. Now, which way is it shading? I'm going to go to y equals and type it in, 28 minus 7x. Second math, let's put my symbol, just match it, nothing changes, -4, parentheses, -7x, minus 7, trace. The top line is going to the right side. So if I'm shading to the right, I'm going to shade to the right side. You do the same thing here. So this is a -2 and this is a -2, so make sure you see those differences. I put pause. Now for this one, this is just numeric solver. All right, if we're in an equal sign, that's nice and easy. Push math, go to numeric solver, 8x minus 3, parentheses 2x minus 4. Move to the bottom. 3 parentheses x minus 6. Delete the rest, and then graph, 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 graph. So my answer is 30. I'll do the same thing on this side. All right, now for this one, now we're still going to use both the numeric solver and we're still going to use the y equals. All right, and I'll show you how. So I'm going to go to numeric solver again. So I have 2 parentheses x plus 2. I'll move down here. I'm going to put negative 6 parentheses 1 minus x parentheses graph graph. So 2.5 is the number that goes here. Okay. Now here's the thing though. All right. So leave some space in the middle. 2.5. Now I don't know my symbol, which way my symbol is going to go yet. All I know is that there's a line under it, so they will have a line under it, but which way is it pointing? Well, that's why I need the y equals for. It's going to tell me which way it's pointing, because it might change. Let's type it in, 2 parentheses, x plus 2. Second math, greater than or equal to, all right, negative 6 parentheses, 1 minus x parentheses, push trace. So the top line is going that direction. That means my symbol is pointing that way. So that means that there was a flip here. So I should flip it going this way with a line under. So on the test, you do have to pick the sign and then put the number. Now, if it wants the fraction, guys, like 2.5, you push 2.5 like that. Just leave it like that, and then push math, and it changes to a fraction. So just math, enter, enter. And you can do that as well. All right. So do the same thing here for number 10. All right, so you do have a question where it says rewrite this in slope-intercept form. So this is my kick and divide. And you have to pay attention to where the x is, okay? So this is my x number, I kick it. This is my x number, I kick it. So I have a minus 4, I kick it over. Turns opposite. So, sorry, this is a positive 4, and when I kick it, it turns into a minus 4. Now, you guys, don't forget to rewrite. This is where everyone's messing up. Rewrite it, guys. I have a positive 5y equals, and now it's a negative 4x plus 20. And I want to see this written down on your paper. And then you put the division bar under everything. So that's the kick, we're done. Divide whatever this is. Don't change it. This is a regular 5. So just divide it by a regular 5. This cancels out. Y equals, so if I type in alpha x, so if I put a negative 4 and then a 5, it's the same thing. It's okay if it's the same thing. Negative 4 over 5x. Then you put the 20, so alpha x, put the 20 on top, put the 5 on the bottom, and this is a positive 4, so I'm going to put plus 4. That is my answer right there. So kick and divide. 2 steps. Don't forget to rewrite. I want to see the work here on this side. Now this one for Desmos, remember you have to put the plus sign on Desmos and hit where it says table. That goes on the first box, and then on the second box you have to put your y1 squiggly mx1 plus b. All right, so this is a Desmos question. I don't have my Desmos with me right now, but you have to push the plus sign when you get a Desmos, get the table, put your numbers in there, and then on the number 2, remember the table has to go first. So this is the number 1 box, this is the number 2 box. Number 2 box, y1 squiggly, mx1 plus b. And then you just match this. Remember, if you have a decimal, you can change it to a fraction, right? Raise your hand if you need help with that. Now, this one is different than the rest, guys. Put a little star right here. You do have a question like this where it says how many solutions, okay? So the way we can do this, and I'll just do it on the calculator, and you can do this in decimals too, all right? But if I go to the calculator, I'm gonna go ahead and put this side. Remember, this is kind of like numeric solver, right? Kind of. We're gonna separate it. So everyone go here and let's put in what we got. So alpha x, I have 1/5 1 divided by 5, parentheses, 15x plus 30, parentheses. Now move down, and I'm going to put this side into my calculator. So I have 5 parentheses, whoops, x plus 1 plus 1, and now I'm going to push trace. So I have a blue line as the first one, my red line is the second one. So it's asking me how many solutions there are. So how many times does this cross? If it looks like an X and they cross one time, this is a 1 solution. If it looks like 2 lines that are parallel, this is no solution. And if it looks like there's 1 line and then, or let's say if it only looks like 1 line, there's one on top of another one, this is infinite. So mine looks kind of like a really skinny X because it crosses only 1 time at 0, 6. So this one is going to be 1 solution. I don't think it asks for the answer, but if it does, the answer is 0, 6. All right. I just think you have to say 1, no, or infinite, one of these. That's all. We got a little bit of a trick question right here. It says solve for the equation of x. So this is kick and divide, but now we're leaving the x by itself. This is kind of a trick question. Still the same steps as we're still going to kick and divide. Kick and divide. So in this case, if I want to leave this x number, I'm going to kick over the y number. All right. You do have one like this, and it still goes opposite. What is the opposite of a minus 7? Positive 7. You still need to rewrite it though. Rewrite it with this 5x equals, this is a positive 7y, and this is a minus 15 because it's negative. All right, so after my kick step, I'm going to divide the x number this time because it says leave the x by itself. Cancels out. X equals, if I put, let's put 7 over 5. Now, you guys, to get out of the calculator, you could push second quit to get out. All right, so 7 over 5 is 7 over 5. That stays the same. 7 divided by 5y. Then we have alpha x, negative 15, because it's a minus, and then a 5. If I have a negative 3, I'm going to put minus 3. All right. That's your answer. So you're doing the same thing here. Leave the x by itself. It's still kick and divide. You're just kicking the other one, though. It's very rare, but it happens. All right, last one. So Juan goes to Walmart. He buys 3 T-shirts for $4.50 each, and some apples for 75 cents each. Okay, no, 75 cents. Right. Write an equation in the slope-intercept form for the total cost y when he buys x apples. So all they're asking for is apples. X is the apples part. My cost is y. So I have a y equals mx plus b. All right. So when he buys his all right. So my cost equals. Now on this side, I'm going to go ahead. My slope, each apple costs how much? An apple costs 75, so 0.75. And the keyword is each right here. That's how I know this is my number, apples. I'm going to put A for apples. And then, now when you go to the store though, how many apples do you start off with? Well, I started with no apples, 0. I could put a plus 0 here, but really what's going on is going to be y equals 0.75x. This is like the calculator version, right? The real world version is cost equals for every apple 75 cents. And if you go to the store, you should not have any apples. Please do not walk in the store with apples. That's a 0. So this is going to be my answer. Those 3 T-shirts for $450 each is extra information. We don't need that. They're trying to give you more information than what you need. It's telling you only the apples. So don't be like Mr. S. What about that 450 goes here? They're trying to trick you. That's something else. All right. So like Olivia goes to H-E-B. She buys 7 gallons of milk for $2.80 each and some butter for $1.95 each. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the total cost when Olivia buys X butters. So see, they're only asking for butters. So your milk information is extra. Anything that has to do with the milk is extra. All right. So finish this side, guys. Once y'all are finished, turn it in, and then I'll activate the test for y'all.